Friends, on behalf of My Retired Life Foundation, we extend all of you to our new initiative, which is called In Conversation With. In this initiative, we will be trying to interact with some of the known names who have done substantive amount of work for the cause of the senior citizens. The idea is to let the people know what actually the people have done on the ground for the cause of the senior citizens, because it is not a very known phenomenon in India. And to have with us start this particular discussion series, we have with us a very, very eminent personality, Mr. D N Chapke. I'm sure that many of the people in the audience will be knowing him. Mr. D N Chapke has been and has an exchequered career in the cause of the senior citizens. He has been an engineer. He has got a very postgraduate qualification in the various areas, including management and the social enterprise management. He has worked in the government department, and he retired as a very senior person as the general manager. Now, when you look at the profile of Mr. D N Chapke, we see that he has migrated into the field of the senior citizen activity after retirement or on the verge of the retirement. So Chapke साहब, आपका नमस्कार. आपका इसको शो में हम वेलकम करते हैं और आपसे ये जानना चाहते हैं कि आप सीनियर सिटीजन मूवमेंट पे कैसे जुड़े?
In Nerul, Navi Mumbai, we had a lot of senior citizens in morning walk group, and one of the senior citizen member, Mr. Chitnis, was chairman of the Senior Citizen Association at Nerul, and I also wanted to join some group for socializing and also keep engaged myself in activities so that my health will be good. So I joined this Nerul Senior Citizen Association in 2001, and I became secretary there or there. This was the you see beginning of my work or activities in the senior citizen movement.
लेकिन अगर आपका कैरियर हम देखते हैं सीनियर सिटीजन मूवमेंट में काफी लंबा है, मतलब उसके बाद में आपने काफी काम किया. आप नेहरू सीनियर सिटीजन एसोसिएशन में काम किया, उसके बाद में आप फेस्कॉम से भी जुड़े, आइसकॉन से भी जुड़े. थोड़ा सा अपना हिस्ट्री बताएंगे जे आपने हाउ डिड यू मूव इनटू द सीनियर सिटीजन मूवमेंट?
You see, after I joined Senior Citizen Association at Nerul, we had a very interesting program for the first time in the country, I must say, for intergeneration bonding. In 2003, we had a program for 1.5 month long period to have intergeneration bonding with school children. So we almost, you see, had program with 30 schools in Nerul, and that program went on for 1.5 months. And we had several activities, you see, activities for the children and senior citizens. For example, elocution competition in Marathi, Hindi, and English. Then there were essays in 3 languages, and also there was to be one procession on 1st October after the end of this entire program. And in the procession, we decided to have placards, and the best slogan on the placards would be given prizes. Then school band was there. Then skit on the theme of the program. We had a theme of 3 generations under one roof. This was the theme of our program, and we kept one competition for the skit also. That whosoever presents a good skit, they will be given prizes. So like that skit was there, and also lazim groups were there. So and there were other games also for children and girls and boys. So like this program was very popular. Almost 3,000 children and 600 senior citizens participated in this program of 2003. And 10 school bands were participated, and legion groups were there, several. And this was a very big program. This helped us in increasing the membership of this Nerul Association from 120 to 320 in just 15 days after this program. So this program went on for 4 years continuously in Nerul, and then we extended it to other nodes of Navi Mumbai like Vashi, Sanpada, then CBD Belapur, and other areas, Airoli, etc. And it was a grand program. We used to have final program of 1st October in Vishnudas Bhave Auditorium. And we used to present the best programs there on the stage. So it was liked by people, senior, elderly people also, and many parents and grandparents of the senior citizens of the children joined the association. So this encouraged everybody in the senior citizen movement. And then I was, also chosen as Sampark Sachiv in state of Maharashtra. When I became Sampark Sachiv in Maharashtra, similarly in 2007, I was made Secretary General of All India Senior Citizen Confederation. So this was the process, and then it went on for almost 20 years continuously, and it was almost full-time work. I moved all over the country. I had been to the villages, taluka places, districts, etc.
छापके साहब, आपने आइसकॉन के काफी टाइम जुड़े रहे. You have been the Secretary General and the President. Can you let the audience know a little bit more about the Icecon and its activities?
Yeah. You see, Icecon was formed in 2001, and the work started in 2001. The formation was, the reason for formation of this Icecon was that when we represented in Delhi some other states, issues of some other states, the ministry said you cannot represent the other states, problems or issues of the other states, because you cannot represent them. You have to have a national organization. And to have a national organization, you should have at least members from 7 different states in the country. Then only you can form a national organization. So our efforts went in that direction, and ultimately in 2001 we formed the national organization, All India Senior Citizen Confederation. So this work went on, and in All India Senior Citizen Confederation in 2007 we had the annual conference in Jaipur. Before that, in 2001 and 2002, we were having our All India conference with Maharashtra State Senior Citizen Federation. And there were many complaints from the members. There were hardly 50 delegates from the different states for this conference in 2001 and 2002. They were complaining that the whole proceedings are going on in Marathi and we do not understand anything. Then in 2003, I suggested to Dr. Kinjavadekar, who was the Secretary General of All India Senior Citizen Conference in that time, that we should have a separate conference for All India Senior Citizen Confederation, so that people can talk in Hindi or English and they can understand. So we decided to hold this conference in Mumbai in 2003, but the office bearers were, afraid of the financial problems, issues. And then they made me chairman of the finance committee for the conference. And we did the conference excellently. And after meeting the expenses, we had a saving of about 7 lakh rupees at the end of the conference. So this encouraged everybody. And the conference was very good. And these annual conferences went on. And in 2007, when I became the Secretary General, we wanted to increase the delegates number. Up to 2007, the delegates number was hardly up to 450 only. So I decided that the next conference should be some in religious places like Haridwar or Mathura or Varanasi, etc. So that people will be, senior citizens will be encouraged to attend the conference and also have opportunity to visit the various tourist places in the country. So this was really a wonderful idea, and people also responded to it. And the conference in Haridwar we held in 2009, the strength went to 700. Then in Mathura, it went to, in 2010, it went to 1,400. And after that, it went up and went up. And in Trivandrum in 2012, the delegate number was almost 2,600. So like this was encouraged. And then we used to publish souvenirs and also some books on the senior citizen issues. In the conference, we used to distribute these books free. So different issues like, say, assistive technologies for senior citizens, assistive technologies for healthcare, older women in India, protection of life and property for senior citizens, challenges faced by senior citizens, caregiving for the elderly, voice of elderly, constitutional, legislative, and program framework for senior citizens. And also I tried to, like this, we also publish almost 15 books on behalf of Icecon with the help of Dr. Bhatia, Sugan Bhatia. Unfortunately, he has expired in 2016, but he was very helpful in publishing all these books. So like this, it went on. And I also, you see, tried to get government grants for publication of books also, and for conference expenses also. So this went on, and Icecon was growing day by day. Then we used to raise the issues of senior citizens on various issues, like say pension. Pension was very important because almost 2/3 senior citizen pensions, senior citizens are so poor, they can't get 2 square meals a day, because most of them are coming from villages in rural area. And you see their children are, you see, migrating to cities, towns, or going to other countries in search of jobs, leaving behind the parents. And they are, nobody is there to take care of them. And hardly they can work also in the fields for income. So this was the main issue. We have been taking up this issue from time to time with the government of India. And second was protection of life and property. Because in 2001, one act came in Himachal Pradesh, first time in the country. It was, you see, Maintenance of Parents and Dependents Act 2001. So this was an encouragement for us also and all other organizations in the country, that we should have an act for protection of senior citizens, maintenance of senior citizens, and parents, etc. So this went on, and we got this act passed in 2007, Maintenance and Welfare of Senior Citizens and Parents and Senior Citizens Act 2007.
छापके साहब काफी काम किया आपने. You know, ये जो act की आपने बात की, this act is a very well known act, and then we have a senior citizen policy also, which came up in 2011, and then once again the draft is pending within 2020. लेकिन हमारा interaction जो senior citizen से होता है, उससे लगता है कि many of the senior citizens are not even aware of these acts, or aware of these laws for them. So what the Icecon has done in this regard to bring about awareness among the senior citizens?
Yeah, that is a very good question. You see, we you see, we have conferences at national level. Similarly, we started conferences at state level. Maharashtra was the state which started conferences, annual conferences right from 1980, from the beginning only. But in other state, people were not having any conferences. So we initiated conferences at state level and district level. Up to district, we started the conferences, and we also used to have seminars on various issues of senior citizens for creating awareness. And this definitely helped. And organizational structure has to expand. Unless organizational structure expands, people cannot be made aware. So there should be organizations at village level. Every Gram Panchayat should have a senior citizen association. Every police station area, because every police station has got a particular area. So area, and then that the problems, many problems of senior citizen can be solved at the police stations level. So there should be one registered senior citizen association at police station level. Maybe in cities also, and then every ward in cities there should be a senior citizen association. No senior citizen should be required to walk more than 2 kilometers to attend the meetings of the senior citizens in his area. So like this, you see, there are so many issues of the senior citizens, but among the senior citizens issues, most important issue is poverty. If you think of our country, almost more than 70% senior citizens are living in villages, and they have very little income after the age of 60. And their children also going away. And unless you have some pension or income, your status also in the society is not there. If you are having some income, you will have some status in the family also and in the society also. So this pension is very important. And at present, the situation of pension is very poor in the country. The government of India was to give pension of 75 rupees from 1995. It went on. We made several representations to government of India from 2001 onwards. And ultimately, on 19th November 2007, the pension was increased from 75 rupees to 200 rupees per month. This was the situation. In fact, 200 rupees today is nothing. Only some of the states are giving more pension, like say Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Himachal Pradesh, Goa. These are the states which are contributing, you see, almost more than 2,000 rupees. And central government is contributing 200 rupees only. So like this, Andhra Pradesh is giving 2,250 rupees pension per month. Then Telangana also is giving a similar amount. And Haryana is increasing pension every year. At present, they are giving 1,800 rupees per month to senior citizens. And the second problem is that the number of beneficiaries, because the requirement in our country for this pension is for about 7.5 crore people. Because senior citizen population is about 15 crores now. It was 10.36 crores in 2011 census, but today it is more than 15 crores. And the number of senior citizens in need of pension or social assistance is about 7.5 crores. And this has been given by this, you see, census on, you see, economic census on, you see, recently conducted, and economic census. And they have found out that 5.5 crore senior citizens are in the rural area who are in need of pension. And if you include the urban area senior citizens, it comes to about 7.5 crores. States are spending about 30,000 crores per annum on pensions, whereas government of India is spending hardly 9,500 crores. So the situation is very bad. And this has been represented several times to government of India. And no pension has been increased. There is no increase from 200 rupees per month. Only state governments are increasing the pension, their contribution. But very recently, when there is a lot of pressure on we put a lot of pressure, our Icecon and also other organizations in the country dealing with senior citizens, they also made representations, and ultimately they came out with a scheme of this Kisan Sanman Yojana, which gives about 6,000 rupees per annum, 2,000 rupees every 4 months, and 75,000 crores are disbursed. In the seniors, these farmers, almost 50% are senior citizens. That is my observation in the rural areas. So about government is giving pension of this 6,000 rupees per annum to 7.5 crore farmers. Out of 7.5 crore farmers, almost 50%. That is almost more than 3.75 crore senior citizens are covered. So we are happy about it. But our request is that this should be increased to at least 1,000 rupees per month, 2,000 rupees per month, so that they can have some status there in the city and they can meet their requirements. And our demand was actually basically for 3,500 rupees per month. And we arrived at this 3,500 rupees per month demand on the basis of Manrega. In Manrega, the wages of the worker come to about 7,000 rupees per month. So this is the lowest. So half of that is 3,500, and it should also be linked to inflation. So it should be increased every year. In Manrega also the wages are increased as per inflation. So similarly, this pension of senior citizens also should be increased to with inflation or linked to inflation.
Chapke sahab, ye pension, yes, we appreciate it's a very, very important thing. And almost all of us have been talking about it. You know, one more issue, critical issue, which we found out, the medical facilities. You know, there is no medical insurance. I mean, it's a pathetic condition of the medical infrastructure in the country. So what is what should be done? You know, particularly for the vulnerable section of the senior citizen, because they are old, they are aged, their physique is giving way. They are tired in life. They are suffering from lot of illnesses. Medical insurance hai nahi abhi. So kya karna chahiye?
You know, you see, we have been representing the government of India to have, you see, health insurance for all the people, universal health insurance. Now, government of India recently has come out with some health insurance scheme, but senior citizens are not given preference there. Our request to government of India is, please include all senior citizens in this scheme, healthcare scheme. So it is about 50,000 crore, 50 crore people are included in this scheme. So our request is that because it is as per those categories that survey, economic survey of backward classes and all other this one economic survey was conducted from 2011 to 2014, I think. So our request to government of India is to include the senior citizens and also come out with such an instrument policy that OPD is also covered in that health insurance. You come out with some special policy for senior citizens where there should not be any restriction on age and also no restriction on the existing ailments. So these are the two important issues that should be included in that policy. It should be, because in European countries, they have, you see, they have included in healthcare policy that OPD is also included. Because their experience is that if you include OPD in health insurance policy, your expenditure is much less because nobody desires to go in hospital. People can be cured immediately and we see that they don't fall sick and hospitalization is not required at all. That should be the policy. So if OPDs are made available at every place or this rural healthcare centers, I think things will improve. Now, Government of India, with our request, they started, you see, program for National Program for Healthcare of Elderly, NPSCE. And This program was initially started in 2011 for 100 districts. And the funds were provided, but there is, hitch. The state government also is required to participate in this. Many state governments are not interested in the scheme. So out of 100 districts, the government of India provided 300 crores, but state government didn't take any interest and hardly 10 districts were covered. Then later on, this scheme was extended to 300 districts and then all districts. But the actual implementation of this NPSC scheme is very, very poor, extremely poor. And now our request is that they should include all senior citizens in the newly started healthcare scheme by government of India.
Good. That's a good demand that I hope that the government of India hears. Chapke sahab, एक बड़ा issue है, you know, one of the big issues which I see in the space of the senior citizen, very, very strong area of concern. There is a, huge cases of abuse, elder abuse. Actually, I get an email almost on a daily basis. One email comes to me regarding an elder abuse in different parts of the country. You can imagine what is the status of the status of the elder abuse. Even if you look at the latest report of the Helpage India, which conducts an annual survey of the elder abuse, they talk about the 60% of the elders are abused in the country. इस पे क्या करना चाहिए? Law है, act है, सब कुछ है, लेकिन कम नहीं हो रहा है. It is increasing day by day.
Yeah, very, very good question. You see, this Maintenance Act is there, 2007. And this act gives all the powers to the district collector, district magistrate. You see, at every district, there is a district magistrate and collector. So the main problem is that there are many helplines also. In police station, there are helplines. Police station, there is a special nodal officer in every police station as per this act, 2007 act. But there are no organizations to resolve the issues or problems, because I used to receive telephones from Kolkata, Delhi, Hyderabad, many other places, long distance places. You see, no one can solve problems sitting in Mumbai or Delhi, the problem in Kolkata or Hyderabad. It has to be resolved by the local people only, local organization only. So my thinking, I had been representing to Government of India also. I spoke on this in National Human Rights Commission also, and they also appreciated my views. You see, in the policy, 1999 policy of senior citizens, which was declared for the first time in the country, Article 104 provides, you see, that the Government of India should provide office space for national organization. First of all, they should recognize a national organization, and then they should also offices for them at national level, and all state level also organizations should be provided with offices. Then recurring and non-recurring expenses of this national level and state level organizations should be provided by the Government of India. Because you see, in the country of 100 and almost 30 crore population now, there are hardly 5,000 senior citizen associations in the country. Whereas we should have association every ward, every gram panchayat, there should be association. Every taluka place, there should be association. Every corporation, local government, corporation or municipal council, there should be, you see, senior citizen association, so that they can take up the issues at local government level, state level, district level, taluka level, gram panchayat level. Gram panchayat is the beginning, gram panchayat or ward. Then comes taluka, then comes district. And for cities and towns, that should be, like Navi Mumbai, we have a cell for senior citizens in the municipal corporation. And they have a budgetary provision for senior citizens in the Navi Mumbai corporation. So like this, we should have councils or senior citizen association at every level, then only they can take up the issues with either with the local government or at taluka authorities or police authorities or say Gram Panchayat level or national level. So organizational setup is very, very important. And you see, our experience is that it requires a lot of money and efforts to form an organization. Travel is required. You have to go to villagers and then convince the villagers to form the association. So it requires money. We have been spending our money from our pockets. So whatever money our organization was providing us, it was not enough. We had to spend from our own pockets. So see, if Government of India helps to organize senior citizens by providing certain facilities as suggested by in policy of senior citizens, Article 104, I think things will improve. And unless this organized setup is strengthened, we cannot solve the problems of senior citizens. That is my personal view. After working for more than 20 years with senior citizen movement and traveling all over the country, and I have come to this conclusion that unless there is a strong organization at every level, you cannot solve the problems. You cannot make use of the programs. You cannot make use of the, you cannot also implement the policies or acts.
I agree. Chapke Sahab, to a certain extent, I agree that senior citizens should themselves form associations, organizations. But the government also needs to do, our, experience in respect of the police station, etc., has not been that good. When you go there, they do not normally entertain you. That's a problem. Anyway, let's come to the another very important issue, Chapke Sahab. Everywhere in the world, whenever we talk about senior citizens, first thing we talk about creation of an infrastructure which is conducive to the senior citizens. We are talking about railway stations, we are talking about colleges, we are talking about universities, we are talking about road crossing, we are talking about everywhere. All types of public facilities should be senior citizen centric. Senior citizen को फैसिलिटी मिलना चाहिए, सीनियर सिटीजन को उनको मध्य रखते हुए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में परिवर्तन करना चाहिए. लेकिन ये हो नहीं रहा. इंडिया में तो पैथेटिक कंडीशन है. इफ यू लुक एट द रेलवे स्टेशन और द पोस्ट ऑफिस एंड एनीवेयर यू गो, I mean, it's a pathetic infrastructure. How do the senior citizens move?
Yeah, that is right. You see, even Mumbai Corporation, which is the richest municipal corporation, the roads are not good in Mumbai. So this is the situation. And forget about the villages and other towns. You see, the city roads are worst. In fact, highways are better, or state highways are better. But I find that in many towns, I travel so many places in the country, the roads and the infrastructure in the towns and cities is very poor. It is not conducive to senior citizens. It is not senior citizen friendly. You see, only in Navi Mumbai also, only sector 15, they have made very good arrangements. Where I stay in CBD Belapur, they spent about 300 crores on one single sector. And they have made it like Singapore. So you can climb the footpath, and then you can come down from the footpath. You can take the bicycle on the footpath or come down on bicycle on the footpath. Very nicely developed sector 15. But that is not the situation in other sectors of Navi Mumbai also. And all over the country, you see the cities and towns are not senior citizen friendly. And what you say is very important, that unless the cities and towns are made friendly and the environment is made conducive to the senior citizen, they cannot move around. They cannot do any activities also, because it will be a major problem for them to move.
I know. चपके साहब, आपका बहुत टाइम लिया, बहुत हम आपका शुक्रगुजार हैं. जाते जाते आपसे लास्ट क्वेश्चन करेंगे, and that is, you have been a veteran in the area of the senior citizen, having spent more than 2 decades for the cause of senior citizens. What should be your parting thought of advice to the government, that what should be done? 3 things what should be done immediately to improve the plight.
Most important is pensions, social assistance. Number 2 is daycare centers or multi-purpose daycare centers should be provided. Then elder care homes also are required. Then separate ministry should be there for senior citizens, because at present the social justice ministry, you see there is hardly 200 crore budget for senior citizens, and other sections they have about 4,500 crore budget. So nobody looks after the senior citizen section, and we should have a separate ministry, and budgetary provisions should be much larger, because the budget of our country is about 22 lakh crores. So in proportionate to the number of senior citizens, there should be budgetary provision in the central budget also, and correspondingly in the state budgets and local government budgets also. Some of the local governments are making provisions in the budget, like Mumbai also has made you see budgetary provision for senior citizens. Then see daycare centers are very important. If daycare centers are made in every gram panchayat, like Anganwadi, then also in towns and cities, also every ward or 2 wards, one daycare center, people can socialize, come together, discuss each other, meet each other. They can have medical programs there also, medical camps also they can hold there. And it will be very useful. They can also contribute to the society also. And the pension is very, very important. You see, if the government is spending more than 4 lakh crores on 1% of the senior citizens who have retired from government, whereas government of India is spending hardly 9,500 crores for senior citizens, remaining 99%. So this is a great injustice. And even if government gives these pensions, it will be spent and it will be consumed. The senior citizens may buy their you see food requirements, clothes, medicines, etc., or toys for their grandchildren. So this will come in the you see market, and this will create you see encourage industry also, and it will encourage employment also. So they are not going to deposit in the banks. So this is very important. Pension is most important, that I personally feel. Then healthcare insurance, they should be included in the national scheme, all senior citizens, irrespective of their status. So these are the very important issues. And if government can do it and increase the budgetary provision also, they can definitely, senior citizen will be benefited out of this.
Okay, Chapke sir, we are once again thankful to you for having come and shared your wisdom and thoughts with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, sir. Thank you. Bye.